Hey everyone, thanks for watching my latest episode. I'm Blockchain Bernie, and today we are going to talk about Coinbase versus Kraken and my experience with these two CEX'es. CEX'es, spelled with a C in the beginning, centralized exchanges. So, why am I talking about Coinbase and Kraken? So, what has been left over, right? FTX is gone. It's just there is no FTX anymore. So what can we do? We have Coinbase, we have Kraken, then obviously we have Binance, which is a big player, and then we have a few smaller players like OKEx and all these other guys out there. So for me, a certain size of the exchange, of the SEX, of the centralized exchange, is important just because of liquidity. Why is liquidity so important? If you want to trade on that exchange, and again, that exchange, you should use it for trading, right? If you need to make a trade, so, if you're a day trader or something, yeah, you need to leave it in the exchange because you trade all the time, right? You trade several times a day, or maybe you trade several times a minute or a second or whatever, right? That's a different field. I'm not talking about that. I'm not a trader or day trader. I will definitely never become one. But sometimes I need to make trades just for investment purposes or just to get onboarded onto DeFi and onto Web3 and all these type of things. So I just need these CEXs, these centralized exchanges, for like on ramp, off ramp, right? Get fiat into the crypto world and get out from crypto world into fiat. Everything else I prefer to do on decentralized exchanges. It works so great, and you should do the same. But there are cases where we need those centralized exchanges. I'm not a big fan of Binance for several reasons. I don't like the fact they don't disclose publicly what country is their headquarters in. And I don't like, some of their behavior and CZ's behavior in with regards to competitors. It's all okay that everything's competition, right? But I don't think it's okay to word things in a way that it sounds like you're the good guy. But in the end, if you understand the technology, you know that there is no technological reason, there's no, real business reason. There is just, it's just an attack on the competition, right? Pushing his BUSD rather than any other stable coin, and pushing his BSC, he calls it Binance Smart Chain, among any other smart contract platforms, right? And BSC is so unblockchain, right? And so yeah, I just don't like it, right? I would not love to do business with Binance, but you might have a different opinion there, and I completely respect that. So I need another sex, and then I feel like the only ones that have some liquidity and the only ones that have a good spectrum of assets that are being tradable, right? I tried OKEx and I tried a few others, and then they don't trade Solana, or they don't offer Solana based stable coins or stuff like that. And that's not for me because I work a lot with Solana. So I end up with Coinbase and Kraken, right? And I've been using Kraken for a long time, and their fees are lower than Coinbase, right? So Kraken has lower fees than Coinbase. In many cases, they still have way higher fees than I was used to when FTX was still there. But now we're left with the other players, which is great. So the bad ones are out. That's what we want. But then a Kraken has lower fees than Coinbase, but it's not like a 10 to 1, 20 to 1 as it used to be a few years ago. Coinbase has evolved and they have lower fees now, but it still can be like two, three, four times the fees that you pay on Kraken, right? I feel the GUI of Coinbase is kind of unbeatable, especially for people new to crypto. I can only recommend it, if you're new to crypto, start out with something, just go with Coinbase because it is so simple, so easy to use. They even have courses that teach you how to do this and that and how everything works. So getting new people onboarded that are not experts for crypto yet, Coinbase is kind of the way to go. It's the trusted way to go. I feel they are still trusted. Of course, you could never know. They are a centralized organization, but they are listed in the stock exchange. They have to publish everything, unlike FTX, right, which was a private company, and there weren't even audited financials, right? So it's different with some other companies, especially Coinbase that I'm talking about right now. So, and Kraken's GUI, not so sure, right? It has, they have been out there for a long time. I personally find that GUI still kind of clumsy, right? And I still figure out, where can I now see my portfolio? Where can I trade? And it is a little bit, I've been using it for years now, but it's still a little bit confusing. And, their margin trading is super confusing. To me, it's also different than many others. But I think for professional traders, and you trade a lot and day traders, it might be a great thing, right? But I'm more of an occasional user, as I told you, because I only need it for on-ramp and off-ramp. So the GUI in Coinbase is better. And what's also better in Coinbase is the volume, right? The liquidity. It's most of the times it's like 3, 4, 8 times more volume, but the more stuff is being traded there all the time. And that is so super important if you trade like a little bit larger amounts, right? If you only trade like $100, $200, $500, you don't need that much of the liquidity. You will get all your orders through even on Kraken, right? And then in that case, I would recommend Kraken because the fees are lower, right? And probably if you only trade, lower amounts, you care for fees a lot. And I do care about fees a lot. I actively try to minimize fees because it makes a big difference over time, right? All these fees, they compound with interest over time. And if you trade a lot, all the fees add up and then they compound again. And, it is important to watch out for low fees. It's a very important thing. But if the volume is so low, the liquidity is so low that you get, not the optimal pricing for your orders to get through, to get them filled, that will outdo any advantage in fees. So that means if you make trades like even $5,000, $10,000, something like that, right? You don't have to be like the big guy with only $1 million, trading back and forth. Then obviously you need a lot of liquidity. Then that's kind of your main concern, right? Because if you come with millions of dollars and want to do a trade, you will influence the price, right? If you want to buy, some crypto asset for $1 million, it will go up in price. And if you want to sell something for $1 million, it'll go down in price. And with that, that effect is so much greater than the savings you could have in fees, right? So it all depends on the size of your trade. And I recently have been doing like whatever, a few $1,000s or something, and it's amazing how fast my orders get filled on Coinbase. There is lots of volume there, right? Even with things like Solana, which have fallen out of favor, recently. I don't think rightfully, but it has fallen out of favor. Volume has been going down. So many things have been going down. But on Coinbase, I still find the liquidity that I need to do orders, sized $5,000, $10,000 or something, right? And I don't have that on Kraken, right? I've tried it so many times, but then you wait a little bit longer and you see it in their order book, right? You see all the orders that are pending in the order book, and they're like $2,000, and then the next one is 3,500. So if you want to sell 10,000, then you can only sell 2,000 at that price, and then the next 2,000 you have to sell at a lower price, or you have to wait until someone's offering a better deal. But that won't happen because they say, oh, there's someone that wants to sell, right? So it is super important to have the liquidity. If you trade, if you earn dollars, just want to get your feet wet and do something, I think Kraken is great. If you have the time to learn the GUI and figure it all out, right? If not, even if you're trading low amounts, it is still great to use Coinbase just because the GUI is so much easier. So yeah, that's it for me. I still feel, those are the two big contenders to be used in centralized exchanges. Binance, definitely there. I cannot say much about Binance. I've never used it. And, I don't like using it for the reasons that I mentioned. And I'm fully aware that's, personal taste, right? It can be very different for you. So I cannot say much about Binance and how their GUI is, and definitely probably the volume there is high, as I hear. So it will definitely a better advantage for even larger trades. And then probably you'd have to go the route of Binance if you want to do that. Yeah, but for the smaller ones, the Geminis, the OKEX, and all the others out there, even the portfolio of the tokens that are offered, they are just too small to me, right? With mainstream things, right, that are just missing there, right? So for me, it's just these two players, and I've given you my opinion on what are their pros and cons, and which one I would go with. So please let me know down in the comments what you think. I think this is just it's really my opinion, right? And my experience, but I'm really eager to learn. What's your experience? What do you think? What are your reasons to go with Binance? I'm eager to learn that. I have my reasons not to go with them, but I would love to learn why do people use Binance a lot. So please let me know that in the comments, and thanks for watching. Give me a like for this video, and see you again soon. Bye.